Anyway, so welcome back to Runaway, the Dream of the Turtle. I 100% forgot to pull up the guide I was using. Last week on Runaway Dream of the Turtle, we went to Alaska. We met some polar bear guy, and we have to sneak into a thing. But in order to get the password, we had to convince the other guy to eat salmon. Raw salmon. I think that was the deal. Holy cow, how many saves do we have? Alright. So we are here with our pal, Joshua. And we need him to eat. Oh, we also have to catch the sushi. Who knows which guide I used? One of these looks really good. Shoutouts to On's butt. Alright, I found the one I was using. Shoutouts to gameboomers.website.com. Gonna make a quick trip to our BFF guy in polar bear suit.
He's kind of a nutcase, but he seems like a good person. It must be... Listen, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Well, what's on your mind?
You wouldn't happen to know how to make sushi, would you?
Well, as you guessed, I don't know how. And go figure, because I've been to Japan a couple of times, but I know nothing beyond traditional cooking. In steak with mashed potatoes, I have eyes for nothing more.
Bother anyone else that Lulu and Waka got together. It bothers me that anything positive happened to Waka. That's okay.
Do you know anyone in this area who knows how to make it?
If anyone would know about that, it's Professor Simon's cook. I think he's from China, somewhere around there. But today, here's his day off, so I doubt you'll find him around. Well, then there's Archibald, but if I were you, I wouldn't want to meet him.
Archibald? Who's that?
Some say he's either Bigfoot, a serial killer, a 200-pound gremlin, or a war criminal. People say the darndest things. Satch, the pizza guy from Sicily, says he saw him a short while back. He was coming to deliver some pizzas to me when he heard a noise in the back of his pickup. When he got out, he saw a running shadow and chased it until he lost sight of it. When he returned to the pickup, they'd stolen the pizzas and opened up the engine. He couldn't get the pickup started, so he had to leave it around here somewhere. He's sure it was Archibald, but actually it could have been anybody.
I'm guessing Archibald is a Yeti.
Do you know what Archibald looks like?
The last thing I heard is he's 6'7", has a flat head, green skin, and a body full of scars.
Do you have any idea how I can find him?
No, pal.
Rawl?
You don't find Archibald. He finds you. You may be asking yourself, why is Ben saying that? Well, because that's what happened to me. Not once, but twice.
Hey, so why? Archibald knows how to make sushi.
What happened the first time you met Archibald?
The first time? Oh yeah, it was Christmas Eve. I picked up my guitar, went out on the balcony, sipped down a mug of beer, and started singing A Christmas Carol. I hadn't finished the first bar when I felt a sharp object in my back, as a whispering voice told me,
John Lennon sang Christmas carols much better than you, and look where he ended up. Your end may be much more cruel and imaginative.
I stopped playing and asked, You're Archibald, aren't you? But there was nobody there.
Whoa. Too spooky for me.
What happened the second time he found you?
I was sitting here having a beer when I recognized his voice.
I'm going to give you some emergency anesthesia. If you move, I'll leave you dumber than you are now.
I felt something hit my head, and I fell to the floor. When I woke up, I saw I'd been blindfolded. Well, actually, I didn't see it, but you get my drift. I said, Where am I? Who are you? What do you want from me? I thought my kidnapper was a competing bear scientist, so I yelled, You'll never get me to tell you my theory, no matter how hard you torture me. But that wasn't the deal. He said his name was Archibald, and that he was a chef. He just invented a tarantula venom salsa, and he wanted to experiment with me to see if the venom was still poisonous after being boiled. Thank goodness it wasn't, but it was quite a laxative.
So, you say you've seen Archibald?
No, amigo. I didn't tell you I had seen him, but that I'd been with him.
What?
As for seeing him the way I see you now, never.
Speaking of tarantula venom salsa, I have a friend that makes salsa. Like he owns a factory or whatever that makes salsas and stuff. But they make it all with alcoholic beverages involved, so that you get drunk while you're eating your salsa. Pretty wild.
You have no clue about where his house is?
Well, no. I've scoured the area many times, but I can't ever seem to find it. I'm starting to suspect he lives in a hole, like a bunny rabbit.
Well, let's stop talking about Archibald for now.
As you wish, but don't ever call him Archie. He gets mad with rage.
What do you mean by that, Amy? It's much easier for me to buy ibuprofen than it is any kind of alcohol. I can buy rubbing alcohol.
Forget it. Get back to your work.
Okay.
Let's see. Downhill.
Yeah, I'll take a look over there. Wow, I've never seen a completely frozen river before. I'll try not to walk across it just in case the ice breaks.
Alright, time to run across it. LSD salsa would be so different? Probably. Tower top cabin. Oh, there it is.
That must be the cabin that Wazowski was talking about. I'll go take a look. It leads up to Wazowski's cabin. That's a pretty rough-looking axe, but it seems handmade.
Nice.
I'll just take a quick glance inside.
We're about to do some fire watching.
It'd be better to leave the trapdoor open. Well, so this is what Wazowski's hidden den is like. Let's see what we can find around here.
Take the chainsaw?
I don't know. It might be a little heavy, and I'm starting to get tired of hauling junk all over the place.
What?
Though, on the other hand, this is one of those pieces of junk that could save my day at some point. Anyway, by lifting a bunch of junk like this, I won't need to join a gym.
Barely have anything. You have like 4 items in your inventory.
Wow, man. As far as I can see, the fuel gauge is at 0. Well, I'll grab the thing. After all that effort to get it into my pocket. Sure, I bet I can use it somewhere. It's as good as new. I'll try not to wreck it. A guitar! Too bad I have no idea how to play.
Be for the best.
Man, that's a great idea. If I play the right song, maybe I can get that Archibald guy to show up. The only holdup is that I have no idea how to play, but hey, it can't hurt to try. I'll step outside so I can be heard better.
I'm singing and playing the
light from this
guitar.
lamp will come in handy. Here we go.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
He just said he doesn't know how to play the guitar. What?
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh?
Hey, you!
Sorry. Wait for me to get...
That's too bad. His nose didn't even bleed.
Can you tell me why you just tried to do me bodily harm? Forget it. I don't feel like arguing. You must be Archibald from what I've heard.
Well, you must be a moron. And from what I've heard, a worse guitar player than your father.
So, how is it you met my father?
From hearing him play on that very balcony there. Or isn't your pop that bird brain with the bears?
No, I believe you're mistaken. Wazowski's not my dad.
I'd swear you guys were family. I find it hard to believe backward evolution is widespread among humans.
Hey, he doesn't look like...
The same ape-like expression on your face, the same lack of musical knowledge, and bad taste from the look of your clothing. No, there are just too many coincidences.
Listen, Archibald, I'm warning you that...
All right then, let's look at it from a more entertaining perspective. I know a game called Give Me One Reason Why You Shouldn't Die at this very moment. You'd like it. The end's supposed to be a killer.
Ah.
I need you to tell me how to make sushi.
I don't have to explain anything to you. Did you explain to me about the expired syrup they gave you when you were born?
Are you ready? My questions are somewhat personal.
Well, in that case, we could start playing our old game again. But backward. Every time you open your mouth, you give me another reason to feel sorry for your pathetic self and put an end to your sorry, meaningless existence. Considering the vegetative state of your brain, it would be a true act of euthanasia.
Don't leave. There's more to come.
God, who rebooted this kid?
Wazowski says you hit him,
I hit nothing and he started to leave.
Venom.
Wazowski is an imbecile. He was so drunk he fell down the stairs in his own house, so I threw him over my shoulder and dragged him back up. I put a wet rag on his forehead and eyes to lower his fever, but the guy started to get delirious and spewed a bunch of nonsense about his theory on bears. Then I made him a nice broth out of Terra Brachula, a harmless brachiopod, and left him sleeping. The rest is a product of his moronic imagination.
Oh.
Do you know Wazowski's theory about why bears scratch themselves?
I'm not just familiar with it. The theory is actually mine. I'm the one who discovered that female bears in heat scratch birch trees to get the sap out. It's as sweet as honey and can be used to make syrup. I noticed that right afterward, they rubbed their back against the tree to get all covered in it. Then a bear comes along, smells her back, gets on top of her to enjoy the delicacy, and well, nature takes care of the rest. But I don't care about Wazowski stealing the theory from me. I'm used to that kind of thing. Plus, the poor devil has to get some kind of enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should talk about more important things, Archibald.
I shudder to think what type of things are important to you.
I see.
I have money. If you help me out, I'll pay whatever you want.
Well, obviously there had to be something good about you. But I'm warning you, I don't come cheap. And I don't work for scraps.
Are you familiar with making salmon sushi?
Does the Pope pray? Kid, you stand before the former chef of Japan's Imperial Palace. The man who introduced the West to sushi, tempura, and sake. And if that's the dish you want, it won't cost you a cent.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, because I can refuse to make it for you. I only work
Get
my
owned.
cooking magic when I'm given each and every one of the proper ingredients. And I'm missing some essentials for sushi.
Huh.
What ingredients go in sushi?
I don't see why I should tell you, but okay. It contains rice, nori algae, soy sauce, wasabi, ginger, a touch of sugar, a dash of salt, and in this case, salmon.
Which ingredients are you missing?
The salmon to start with, the nori, the wasabi. No, I guess I could achieve a similar effect if I mixed Dijon mustard with apple vinegar and some mint toothpaste. I think I have some soy sauce and ginger around here, so that would be it. Well, I don't have any chopsticks either, or a bamboo mat for rolling up the maki sushi.
Did you know mint toothpaste contains malic acid, which is also used in energy drinks?
I'm not 100% sure of all the ingredients that you're missing, but I could try to find them somewhere around here.
You don't know what the salmon, nori, chopsticks, and bamboo mat look like? Your lack of culinary culture is at par with your IQ. Look around if you want, but I doubt you'll find them all.
Getting back to what you were saying,
You really like to analyze things in depth.
if we were to get all of the ingredients, how much would you charge me to make one dish of sushi?
That depends, kid. How much have you got?
Like 20 bucks?
It's not about what I have on me, but rather what you'll be taking away with you. I will make you the recipient of my eternal gratitude, my lifelong friendship, and my unconditional love.
Save it for when you try to hook up at AA or the Salvation Army or wherever you end up rotting. I only want money, or you can take your god-awful music elsewhere.
My first thought is I have nothing. Will that be enough? Hey, did you hear me? I said I don't have anything on me.
If you have nothing to offer, I have nothing to say, and of course nothing to make for you. Can't you get that into your head?
Brian is the biggest idiot ever.
I think I've got about $1,000. Is 50 okay?
No, 1,000 will do for me. It's a done deal, kid. You get the salmon, the mat for rolling up the sushi, the
Tell him you got
chopsticks
like
and the algae.
$8.
And I'll take care of the rest.
If somebody says how much money you got, always answer something really stupidly low. Like, I got like 45 cents.
Thanks, Archibald. I'll be seeing you.
That's a true threat coming from you.
But how will I find you?
Just whistle, if you know how. But
Thanks.
you'd better not bother me without a good reason.
This feels like one of those old movies. If I whistle, he'll come running. What a nut!
Let's see. It's so weird, Demon Small. Somebody pointed this out the other day. I didn't realize I did this either until I saw somebody else point it out. Anytime I hear, or I'm sorry, anytime I see any sort of dialogue that ends in Kupo, I read it in the voice of the Moogle from 13.2. Well, this is the wrong cabin. Wait, unless that's the cabin. Just go in and out a few times. I'm looking for the welcome mat. Seawalker. They say the name of it well before where I stopped. I wonder if I put what's her face's name in there as a Easter egg. Looking for a welcome mat.
Okay, let's go on out.
Hey, you dream of turtles? I can't even remember her name. My man, Mariah. Who's the blue girl? Looking for a welcome mat by the shelter.
No, I'm not leaving the state until I've spoken with Professor. Plus, I can't just leave.
Tsune Miku. Yeah, the girl from 14. That always joke around being one of the maenads. Medion, that's her name. Medion, that's the one. I wonder if I put her name in there as an Easter egg. There's a welcome mat somewhere. Wait. Says it's on the door. Oh, here it is. I'm a big dummy. Sign hanging on door.
Bright idea. I could use it as a mat to roll up the sushi.
This guide worded this weird.
It'll be easier to carry if I roll it up.
All right.
Those look like perfume bottles. Newborn bear essence, pheromones of she-bear and heat, Republican bear extract. They appear to be the essences that Wazowski was talking about. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I bet some she-bear and heat pheromones could come in handy. I'll have to make sure not to spill a single solitary drop. Smelling like that goop with wild bears roaming around is the last thing I need.
Or is it? Oh wait. God dang it. Wrong door. Hey, let's go back upstairs.
Yeah, I think I've earned it. It isn't full, but there's quite a bit left. Luckily, it's close
Super
tight and
Chlorox.
didn't break when that nutcase threw it at me. It's full of wine or some other spirit from the smell of it. Let's check out the label. Sneaky Pete's Shrubbery Beer? Must be the local brew.
Sneaky Pete, you say?
This kind of thing always seems to prove handy. I'll take it. In the end, it's the simple things in life that turn out to be the most useful.
We almost have a runaway inventory here. Where do you think we're gonna get some chopsticks from? You thought we were gonna carve our own. This.
Nah, better leave it where it is. If I need it, now I know where to find it. That's a pretty rough-looking axe, but it seems handmade.
Just click on the firewood. Might be back by the cabin? Not gonna take random sticks up off the ground. We have to carve our own chopsticks. Oh, here we go.
I've already got one piece of firewood, so unless I plan on taking up woodworking...
Oh. God, this guide is confusing. Here's my piece of firewood.
It's not the most ideal tool, but if I cut it in just the right spot, maybe I could carve something resembling chopsticks.
Alright, let's go.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Oh, look at that. I did a pretty good job.
Perfect. Back to Ben.
Its leaves are long and dark. I'll take it to my pal Rutger. He'll think it's way cool.
Or we'll pretend it's
I don't
algae.
think I'll find anything more similar to algae around here.
Maybe it just starts talking about whatever's popular at the time, 24/7. Green Moon doesn't love every game. In fact, he hasn't even played half the ones that he talks about. He just talks about whatever he feels like talking about. Amy, were you here when we found out that Dreambim just reads fan wikis and just reposts the same stuff he finds on the fan wikis? Let's see. There's chainsaw.
According to the label, it runs on a mixture of gas and oil.
Dream Smalls. Let's see. Back to the shelter. Ooh, a pizza delivery?
It's the mascot of a pizzeria. How appropriate for this region.
What was the question? That sounds like a cave story. The cave story question. Linka Jinka? Linka Kajinka. Letka. Dreambim. That's how I found Dreambim originally, was from him speedrunning Valkyrie Profile. So I know he's played that game.
That's one of those doohickeys they used to drag heavy things with. The cable is released, then pulled in by a small motor. I think
It's either
called
LI
a
or
winch.
LE. Letka, Jinka, Linka. It's either an E or an I. The gas tank.
I always liked pickups, but they're prettier in just one color. I doubt it'll start. Plus, in this condition, there's no way it's gonna budge.
I don't see a gas tank. Unless it means to use this gas tank. God.
This is gonna leave a gross aftertaste, but oh well. Yuck! Talk about needing a mint. It isn't full, but that should do.
And you'll ever siphon anything out of another thing? Where are we going? Oh, wait. Oil.
I'll just approximate the amount of oil. Maybe it's my lucky day. Well, now my little mixture is all ready.
I know a fair amount about it because my dad had this tractor that we had to siphon gas into all the time. And he had this thing he did with his hand on the pipe instead of using his mouth. And then eventually somebody got him like a mechanical one. Okay there, Brian? Gas tank on the chainsaw.
Well, let's hope I made the mixture with the right proportions. Yes! It works! But I better turn it off for the time being.
Nice. Alright, back to the frozen river.
It's hard to fathom how a whole river could turn into ice.
Hello. Use the chainsaw. It's still not showing any of the redeems in my
Great
chat.
idea. I'll make a hole in the ice.
Really weird.
Let's get to work. Perfect. Euclid couldn't have drawn a better circle. Dude!
Alright, watch this bear.
Whew! I thought he was coming after me. Looks like he just wanted to use the hole to fish in, though. I'll have to come up with a way to shoo him off.
Oh, you know how we're gonna make him shoo him away? We're gonna go on a journey. A series of 20 things. Starting by cutting off Bullwinkle's head.
Hey, that might be a good idea. I know a guy who could be interested in that head.
Oh no.
It's
Ah.
not exactly a bear head, but anyway. Now that I think of it, if I took off the antlers, it would look pretty much the same, wouldn't it? Okay, let's flex that muscle. Much better, yeah.
Looks exactly like a bear head. Perfect. Just gonna douse it in bleach.
Okay, let's check out the results. It's a little stinky,
Perfect.
but now it looks a lot more like the head of a polar bear.
Ah, exactly like the head of a polar bear. Go ahead and use this dull knife on the moose head.
Yeah, great idea. The knife's not very sharp, but I could use it to cut a lengthwise strip which could then be lifted like a visor. That way, whoever puts the head on can see where they're walking. Done. Hope it works.
Perfect. I thought Rocky was the flying squirrel, but I don't know. I don't remember. I'm not that old. GIF. Oh god. Hey Ben, I brought you this. Looks exactly like a bear head.
All right, I'll leave it on top of his backpack to give him a surprise. There we go.
Perfect.
Ben,
What's up, amigo?
surprise, my friend. Look what you've got in your backpack.
The head of a bear? Very well done, but what variety of polar bears does that head belong to? I can't seem to place it.
Well, it's actually from a moose.
The moose polar bear? Not familiar with that species, but I've never been to a moose myself. Where's that located? Anyway, I don't think there's much of a difference between polar bear species anyway.
Of course not. The time has come, Ben. Now that your disguise is complete, you can totally infiltrate the inner core of the bear community without a fear. And what better way to begin than by trying to fraternize with that bear down there, fishing in the frozen river?
Yeah, why not? I've been observing that specimen for some time, and it may be a good contact to start with. It's a youthful cub whose growth isn't complete. Though, you can never trust them. They can rip your head off with one swipe of the claw. Well then, the moment of truth has arrived.
Come on, buddy. I know you can do it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
A touch of ferocious bear essence will help too.
That's a ferocious bear essence. Ah, looks just like a bear. You know what you could use? A touch of essence.
No, I'm not giving that to Wazowski. Yes, now that Wazowski is gone, I can do it without getting caught. I hope Wazowski doesn't notice.
This guy says, talk Ben on going back to the bear again. And they live happily ever after.
Oh, the disappointment. Who would have known that bear would get so grumpy? If I approached him any closer, he would have torn me to pieces.
That's the mate, you took your bear hat off.
Listen, Ben.
Listen, Ben, I believe in you.
What's on your mind?
Just give it a second chance.
It seems like such a waste for you to keep on observing from afar when you could be with that bear down there.
Are you sure it isn't too risky, Brian? It looked like it wanted to disembowel me before.
Hmm.
No, man. The thing is, he got scared because you were standing up.
Now that you mention it, of course. He must have thought I wanted to fight, so he got angry.
I'm sure there wouldn't be any problem if you got on all fours.
You think so? Well, I'll try again.
That's the spirit, Ben.
My pod friend, here comes Benjamin
What could
Wazowski.
possibly go
Come
wrong?
on, buddy. I know you can do it.
Here we
A
go.
Touch of bear essence?
A touch of ferocious bear essence will help too.
Definitely ferocious bear essence.
Something tells me Wazowski's gonna be a success this time.
Oh, God.
They vanished into the woods. Oh, the humanity. It was terrifying.
Oh, the
Wazowski's
humanity.
face was like an open book, especially at the beginning. But then, I don't know how to describe it. Well, I hope he's happy in his new life. The important thing is that love conquered all.
Yep. Sure did. Anyways, where's the hockey stick? Play hockey. Wait, hold on.
This isn't the time for a hockey match. Yeah, I think I can reach it. Let me see if I can. I'll return it to Wazowski if he shows up around here.
I don't think he's showing up again.
Having a frozen hand does not sound tempting, thanks. I don't see the... Hey, good idea. I'll try to copy the bear. Let's see if I can do it as well as he does. The stick is so smooth and flat that as soon as I touched the salmon, it slipped off and swam away.
What?
Yeah, that looks like a good imitation bear claw. Quite promising. Look out, salmon. Here I come. Looks a bit funny, but I think it could do the trick.
Definitely.
Okay, let's hope my idea works now. Unbelievable! I never would have imagined it to be so easy. Took some work, but I've got it at last. One perfect specimen of an Alaskan salmon.
That's what Alaskan salmon looks like? Ew, industrial spy? Where's Seawalker with the answer to this one?
I'll tell him what I've gotten. That way I can be sure he won't forget the deal we made. Look, I brought everything you wanted to make the sushi. And
Brisket.
I have the cash, too. Do you mind if I ask you something, Archibald? Will you take long to prepare the sushi? Where will you leave it?
How long is it going to take you to learn not to stick your nose into other people's work? It'll be ready when it's ready, mister. I doubt you'll understand, but let me try to explain. If you come here and the sushi's nowhere to be seen, then it's not ready. But if you come and see a plate of sushi, that means it's done.
Definitely
Did you
cheating, Seawalker.
comprehend that?
Yeah, but if you leave it out here, some animal might come by and eat it. It might be safer if you leave it right in the shelter, where my friend is waiting.
Well, well. Mama's boy is requesting a delivery service. If that's what you want, call up Sicily and order a pizza. They're gross. You'll love them.
I said please, Archibald. Take the sushi to the shelter for me.
All right, but favors have a price. That'll cost you more.
That's impossible. I gave you all I have.
That's nice to know. Tonight I shall dine on sushi as I ask myself where the $1,000 in my pocket came from.
What more do you want? The clothes off my back?
Kid, only one thing would gross me out more than wearing your disgusting, oversized baby clothes. Having to see you naked as you hand it over to me.
I don't know what else I can give you.
Let me think. If I'm not mistaken, you have a cell phone on you, right?
Yeah, but it cost me a fortune.
I was thinking I could resell it, but forget it. I'll take you the sushi in exchange for you leaving me alone and getting out of here for good.
My sincere thanks, Archie.
Archie? You have the balls to call me Archie? What do you think we are, relatives? Or do you think you have the right to insult my parents' good taste with your tacky nicknames?
Sorry,
Oh.
Archie.
Not again! You little...
God dang it,
All right,
Brian.
Give me the cell phone. The cell phone, or the deal's off.
All right, if there's no other choice.
God dang it, Brian.
At the shelter, okay?
If I'd known you were trying to feed the village people's blind cousin, I'd be preparing, making the sushi with your eyeballs. If
Dang.
you bug me again, kid, I'll make some with your family jewels.
Ooh, dang.
No, man. That won't be necessary.
You'd make some great sausage, too.
See you later.
Good riddance, kid.
Why, you. Oh! Come on, Joshua. Here, boy.
Delicious.
Delicious. What's for dessert?
Hey, what about that password?
Yes. Yes. I remember.
Where are you going?
That's when he jumped in the lake and was never seen again. Oh, no. Bye. Oh, no.
I'm starving.
Never that easy. Now stop jumping up and down, you ding dong. Tell me the password.
Look at the mess this wacko got us into. Well, at least it stopped snowing. That's better than nothing.
Ow.
Maybe I should have kept my big mouth shut.
The snow apparently makes the game lag really bad, and I had to apply all these patches and stuff to get Chapter 4 to work. So I look forward to when it stops snowing. Alright.
I was afraid of this. The battery is dead. It won't work unless I get the pickup truck started first.
Couldn't. Let me go gather 45 items. Let's see.
Yeah, if I get the engine to start, the winch will work.
Yeah, but we took all the gas
Good
out.
luck. The key is in the ignition. It won't start. I guess I was asking for a miracle. It's got gasoline for sure, and the battery light hasn't come on, so there must be something wrong with the engine. I'm not much of an auto mechanic, but it can't hurt to open up the hood and take a look-see.
Let's see here.
How weird. There's no sign of the rod used to hold up the hood.
Huh. Let's see.
The hockey stick may be too long, but it could work. Though it would be better if I take off the bear claw first. Perfect. Now I can take a good look at the engine. Okay, let's see if I can figure out why it won't start. One thing's for sure, it doesn't have any spark plugs.
What the heck? It's kind of funny to me. Every time Brian's like, I don't know anything about this thing. Let me take a look-see here. He takes a look-see and he's like, oh, hey, all this stuff that I would know if I knew anything at all about all this stuff. Let me just use this knife on my chainsaw.
Yeah, I could use the knife as a screwdriver in order to remove the spark plugs from the chainsaw. Presto! Now I've got a spark plug.
Easy every time.
Honest,
I owe
I
that.
think that's the device. Let's see if I can.
We're
put it
starting
in
our
right.
truck.
Done. Hopefully the engine will work now.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers. Sweet. Let's hope the winch will work. Yes! Let's get this nightmare over with.
Are you ready for 20 minutes of cutscenes?
Joshua, pay attention!
Here we go.
Grab it! I've got to get that nutcase off the icy lake. Perfect, this is working. I'll get Joshua's monk outfit from the shelter. He should be wearing it when we go to Professor Simon's house. If they see him in his regular clothes, they won't let us in, even with the password.
Joshua would never let go. Oh.
Here, Joshua. Well, here we go.
The man who knows does not speak.
The man who speaks doesn't know.
Come in. Don't be afraid of the dogs.
Come on, chop chop.
What about those nuts?
Don't be afraid of the dogs.
Those barking dogs? Just one of Simon's MP3s. And I thought I wouldn't live to tell the story, but I had a stroke of luck and managed to escape through the amoeba.
My dear friend, you've displayed some exemplary courage by confronting Kordsmeyer. And as for you...
My name is Joshua, and I'm starving.
I see. Alpha spoke to me of you, the human who lives among Trantorians. You are quite lucky.
My stomach's growling with hunger.
As is mine, dear friend. Though it's the hunger for knowledge which makes us scientists.
I think my legs are going to give out.
Joshua, we're short on time, and I haven't even figured out what those Trantorians are doing here.
You are new to the field, then. Please, take a seat. Trantor, an ancient and distinguished planet, more than 60 light eons from our own.
Light
Let me
eons.
tell you, if you thought the walk up here was far,
Its inhabitants had already dominated quantum technology before the first single-celled being sprouted to life on Earth.
what he means is they already had some awesome wares running when our ancestors were riding in time.
They learned to model the space-time continuum at their whim, to leap from galaxy to galaxy, to alight onto dimensional vortices in a purely tangential manner.
You know what? Their travel budget was out of this world.
Their telepathic mastery is such that they could dispense with their mere physical presence, should that be their whim.
Dude, not even Scullery thought of that.
As you are aware, their civilization is beyond ours by an exponentially awe-inspiring amount.
They do seem to be pretty quick.
They could effortlessly make slaves of whole solar systems and shrink them infinitesimally with nothing but a thought.
Their brains could fry our sorry bodies into a heap of atoms. Boggles the mind, huh?
Yet all that seems to interest them is an intergalactic zoo.
He means the only... A what?
A zoo?
Fascinating, is it not?
I love
They trek
zoos.
throughout the universe collecting animals.
Where's Blackie?
And
We're
take
going
them
to the
a
zoo.
planet 3 times larger than Earth. An immense zoological collection where ecosystems from extremely distant galaxies and eras coexist. During the journey, they put the animal into an induced slumber which they refer to as the dream.
Sounds like they've been keeping some info from me.
Furthermore, they've been coming to Earth since the dawn of time. And though they actually need no one, they have made us all stakeholders in their enterprise.
The truth is, I don't quite get it.
A time came at which Earth's technological development made it difficult for Trantorians to go unnoticed, and therefore they contacted our most eminent scientists to reach an agreement. We
The
would
platypus,
protect them
remember?
when visiting,
Or the
conceal
whale?
them from
I
the
think it was
public
one of
eye,
those. I think it was the
and
platypus.
supply them with animals. In exchange, they would provide us with some of their knowledge and most advanced technology.
What a deal.
Yes, my friend. Don't you find it unbelievable that mankind has carried out the technological revolution of the 20th century with no help? Had Trantor failed to furnish us with knowledge, theories, and prototypes, we would never have gotten so far. Think of heretofore unconceivable vaccines, the space race, or even the vacuum tubes in the first computer. And you are thinking of Trantor.
I knew that. And the first jelly-filled donut. They told me so.
Astounding, isn't it? As I was saying, we trade animals for wisdom. The Earthling entity responsible for coordinating these efforts is the Contactors International Agency, of which I myself was a member until recently.
Until Kordsmeyer appeared, I suppose.
Precisely, during the dream of the platypus.
There you go, the dream of
we
the
were
platypus.
waiting for the Trantorians in a cave in Kubapeti, Australia, when the rocks in the ceiling started raining down on us. It looked like our days were numbered. Right at that moment, a Trantorian appeared through an amoeba point carrying a small sphere in his hand. The NG-0, an antiparticle generator that reduces all sorts of matter to nothing. He raised it up and aimed it at the rocks, and they disappeared instantaneously, as if they'd never existed. Since then, Kordsmeyer has been awfully interested in the NG-0. He even ordered me to ask the Trantorians for it. When I refused, he tried to have me eliminated. So I was forced to leave my position and flee to this dull hideout, surrounded by safety measures with passwords known only by Alpha, Trantor's High Commissioner for Earthling Affairs, and now you, of course.
So what we know is that Kordsmeyer has managed to get a Trantorian spaceship into trouble. At least enough for it to risk sending a message through Joshua.
Whoops! With all this chit-chat, I forgot about the message. Yes, Simon.
What is that?
Let us join hands, and then you will see.
Joshua put a lid on it.
Man!
Silence!
Hmm. I understand perfectly. They're speaking in B. I understand perfectly. Hope they pick English. Yeah, they picked English.
Trantor's High Commissioner for Earthling Affairs with the human name Alpha. Scientific Craft 317, Milky Way 2801. Mission, the Dream of the Turtle.
Turtle.
Date, 389-728-24, Onion 14-7. Hello. Professor James Simon, we require your help once again. Our head chef has stolen the Trentonite from our ship, both the current and spare Trentonite stones, and has given it to the military.
Head chef.
Colonel Nathaniel H. Kordsmeyer will only return them to us if we exchange it for something you call the NG0. We do not want to give it up, but as you know, Trentonite forms part of our very essence, and we cannot survive far from it. As you know, we cannot even breathe long without it. And as if that were not enough, yesterday we found a seriously injured human at the bottom of Tiki Lake, where our ship is located.
Oh my god, it's Gina. I mean, wait, is that her name?
Gina!
Oh my god, it's Gina. And she's naked. Who? Gina. Gina Westhouse.
According to our moral code, we were required to help her. Under normal conditions, we would have killed her immediately, but without the Trentonite, we can do nothing more than keep her in a dreamlike state.
What kind of dream?
Depleting the little energy we have available. Nonetheless, one chance for salvation still remains. Professor James Simon. Centuries ago, one of our reconnaissance ships crashed near the city now known as Palenque. And the Trentonite kept on board may still be in that area. Professor James Simon, find it and a way to bring it to us.
Helmet is right.
And some of the local onion soup. Every can of senior onion you can muster. Please.
Senior Onion.
Professor Simon, are you okay?
Just give me a minute or two. I need to warm up.
Aren't you hungry too?
Holy smokes!
Hungry for
we have
knowledge.
to keep the Trantorians from giving the NG0 to Kordsmeyer for sure. In the wrong hands, that weapon could destroy a city the size of Los Angeles in tenths of a second. Dear friends, we must travel to Palenque to find the Trentonite immediately, or we can begin to say farewell to the world as we know it.
You can count on me, Professor. And on Joshua, of course.
I bet you're just real hungry, Professor Simon. Hey! Why don't we call that sushi guy?
Good thinking. May I use your phone?
It isn't a safe way to communicate, given the circumstances. Do you mind if I ask why?
I know of a friend who could help us out. Someone we fully trust.
Magnificent. Then I recommend you sit at my laptop computer and use the impenetrable ultra-safe crypto chat. Provided that your friend is online at this very moment, that is.
Don't worry. If there were one person online in the whole world, it'd be Sushi Douglas.
Well, I am clueless about the online chatting. Of course, since Trantor's all about telepathic talk.
Hey Sushi, are you there?
That's how we got to the computer.
Do you mean that the Trantorians don't have the internet? How do you think Alpha informs us of trading dates, if not by email? In fact, after reading their email, we type in www.planet-trantor.com and we enter our code so that they will provide us with the details of the transaction.
I'm totally out of the loop. Nobody told me about any of this.
You leave me in awe, my dear friend. If not, where do you believe the network of all networks was designed? In the mind of a simple human? No, it was them who showed us how to build it and use it. What I've never understood is how they get online from other solar systems. I don't know. Perhaps they used neutrino transducers, like in that splendid novel by William Garza.
Have you got that one? That book must have gotten at least 5 stars. You wouldn't happen to have anything by Sarah Martin, would you?
Nathan?
What's up, doll? Think you'll ever find our little pest?
Hush, hush, soldier boy. My spiderweb is about to strangle both him and the monk. And it looks like we got 3 for the price of 2. Your old pal Simon's here.
Simon? Ha! I knew I'd end up catching him. Overeducated scientist. Anyway, make him vanish and come to Mala pronto, lady.
Have you already gotten the real Pignon to cooperate?
I know how to make up his mind. The clock's ticking before the big event.
Oh,
K.
no.
Dick, all of Asimov, and of course Brian Scullery's complete works.
Yuck! What are you doing with that gossipy pulp in your library?
Allow me to tell you a secret. If you tug on the 3rd volume of his infamous UFO Lies and the Houdini Legacy, you'll see something open up before your feet.
At Simon's house. And that's where my story ends, for now.
Sounds like quite an adventure, but you can count on me. What do you want me to do?
Think about it, shrimp. While you pull the trigger, I'll stick my finger up the barrel. My fingers get blown off, but the force of the opposite reaction will make the bullet shoot backwards. At a speed 9 times faster. It'll blow up the gun and your face will get erased.
Yeah, you tell him, Archibald.
I knew you were an idiot.
I'm gonna kill him!
No one ordered you to do it, 13. They're not paying you for this one. It's the ones inside they want.
Well, get a move on before my Christmas shopping begins.
Did that spy from Hawaii turn up yet?
Not yet, Tarantula.
This is getting a bit tiresome. They've been in there for hours. All right, 18. Finish off the other 2. Then we'll go in and get the spy.
Which one should I take out first? The clown?
No, the old geezer's more important. What are you waiting for?
Houdini's legacy, Joshua. Brian, go after him.
What about you?
I'll be fine. Everything depends on you now. Run.
But
jump for Pete's sake. Find that stone.
This is just like in On the Way to the Smile.
Brian? Are you there? Brian? Something's wrong. We have to leave immediately.
Everybody remembers these characters from the first game, right? This is the girl who was really rich. Bought this town.
Saturn, we're going on a trip. Brian's in trouble.
BB in trouble? Give me 5 minutes.
You're not leaving me here, are you, man?
and bring your best equipment. We may need it.
4 minutes!
I'll go grab some equipment too, but the good stuff. You gonna fly when you see it, man.
Chapter 5. Ships to the past. Wait.
Huh? Where am I? A boat? Man, I ache all over. And that light.
Oh no, the light.
Just a sec. Hold on. Give me a minute here.
Who you talking to, Brian?
Let's see.
R2, that's the name of the game.
Joshua on Simon's snowmobile. We got as far as Sicily, and from there to Anchorage, where we hopped on a flight to San Diego, since we were supposed to meet Sushi there, and then, I don't know. I can't remember anything else. Truth is, I feel like I've been asleep for 3 days. Joshua's missing, and what in the world am I supposed to do now?
What in the world? Alright.
Behind the first glass door is another that seals shut in order to create a sea-locked chamber to keep water from sinking the boat. No, I wouldn't even be able to stick my fingers between the doors to pull them apart. It's used to open the door, I bet. No, I have enough experience with these number pads to know you can't guess the password at random.
Or can you? Because I've definitely done that like 3 times now in Tower Fantasy.
"2,000 Leagues Under the Sea" by Jules Verne. I think it weighs too much. I wonder if it's some sort of elevator. Let's see what happens when I press this button.
I think he did, Mooglix.
Isn't that... Sushi!
Brian! You finally woke up.
It's amazing to see you.
Why did we leave him like on the
I'm
floor?
The one who's excited. So how are
Middle
you
of
feeling?
Well, a bit nervous, because besides the whole Gina problem, the soldiers and the Trantonite, I can't even remember how I got here. The truth is, I don't even know where we are.
Ha ha ha. I got here this morning, but from what Rutger told me about last night, I'm not surprised your memory is shot. And as for the Trantonite, everything has been fixed. You don't have to worry about a thing.
Oh, nice.
What?
Let me explain. It turns out that a man flying in some bizarre device was painted inside a tomb within the ancient Mayan ruins of Palenque. It's so weird, it looks like a spaceship. So much so that people call it the astronaut of Palenque. As soon as I found out, I took off for Palenque. The stone has to be there. The first thing they told me when I got there is that the tomb was robbed more than 5 centuries ago. 5 centuries! Finding the stone was going to be impossible. Luckily, they gave me a hot contact, Paco, a Spanish student obsessed with the whole topic, and he just happened to be working at the temple ruins then.
Meanwhile, in the Sushi DLC,
So nobody knows where it might be now? I mean, whatever was inside that tomb?
Yeah.
Don Inigo de Malantuñez y Gagnon. Search for him.
Where can I find him?
No idea. Probably at the bottom of the sea, since he was one of the cruelest pirates of the 16th century. Nobody knows how his galleon, the Orion, managed to survive the harshest tempests, or come out unscathed from battles with much better armed vessels. Legend even has it that his ship's figurehead shined like the sun. However, his sailors are sure it was all thanks to a lucky charm made of stone. An awesome object that Malantuñez supposedly found in his youth.
And now you're going to tell me the miraculous item came from that robbed grave, right?
You are right. I've been researching, and it appears that as a kid, Captain Malantuñez worked for the conquistador Hernán Cortés. He had the bad fortune of falling in love with Malinche, who was none other than his commander's lover. Cortés challenged him to a duel, ripped out his eye, and left him in the jungles of Chiapas, fewer than 30 miles from the city of Palenque.
So you're suggesting that Malantuñez stole something from the grave, which protected him for the rest of his life?
Well, thank you, Amy, and good luck.
Interesting. But how can I find his trail?
There's evidence that in 1564, he stole the map of the Manila route, the Spanish crown's best-kept treasure. It could have made him richer than the king himself. After that, his trail is lost. Perhaps he set sail for the Philippines. But if you're so interested, why don't you go look in the archives of the Indies?
Hire Nathan Drake.
Everything written on
Find this
Spain's
out.
colonies in the Americas could be found in the archives of the Indies in Seville, Spain, and that even professional treasure hunters go there to locate sunken galleons. So I expressed my gratitude to Paco and vamoosed to Seville.
You're unbelievable, Sushi.
Hold on, the hardest part had yet to begin. I'm accustomed to breaking passwords and codes, pushing a button and getting quick results. But when I saw the work I'd have to do in Seville...
Somebody say Riven questions? Miss 2?
In this aisle, you'll find everything you need about galleons, which disappeared from 1560 to 1570.
It sure is, Mooglins. It sure is.
And don't worry about making noise. I'll be alone tonight.
I mean, I did say like 20 minutes ago. Hope everybody's ready for like an hour of story dump. An hour of cutscenes.
I searched through book after book, galleon after galleon, and pirate after pirate until... Captain Malantuñez of the Orion. That was
The
it.
Onion.
I found a short passage of what seemed to be Malantuñez's memoirs, taken down by a female prisoner who was with him. On the last pages, his scribe wrote that an English boat had sunk the Orion, and after being rescued, this record keeper went on and on about what a scoundrel Malantuñez was. Lucky for us, the date of the shipwreck is mentioned, March 6th, 1564, 6 days after the Orion set sail on a journey from Acapulco to Manila. I had everything I needed to locate the approximate position of the galleon, so I checked maps from those days, did some calculations, and finally managed to determine an exact point in the Pacific Ocean. That's the whole story, Brian. I charted
good
the possible
DLC.
shipwreck site to an area of less than 80 square nautical miles. Then I called Saturn and told him what direction to take.
80 square miles? Isn't that a lot?
Don't you believe it? A half hour ago, I programmed the sonar to look for underwater objects with the volume of the Orion. And in a few hours, it will start to relay its potential coordinates to us. Using that data, Dean Grassick will dive down to find out whether we've hit the jackpot or we have to continue the search. My time estimate is little more than 2 weeks.
2
3
weeks?
tops.
Sushi, that's too long. We have to find
2
some other
hours.
solution.
It's a difficult operation, Brian. The Douglas III's sonar is equipped with the most advanced submarine detection technology. So, unless you can come up with some sort of miracle, we'll have to wait.
Wait a sec. I think I may have missed something. I'd like to
Off
hear about
sushi
your
completely.
trips to Palenque and Seville again.
Ha ha ha. You still don't believe me, do you? Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Tell me all about Palenque again.
The first thing they told me when I got there is that the tomb was robbed more than 5 centuries ago. 5 centuries! Finding the stone was going to be impossible. Luckily, they gave me a hot contact, Paco, a Spanish student obsessed with the whole topic. And he just happened to be working at the temple ruins then.
Oh, God. Alright.
You must have millions of frequent flyer miles from all those trips you've taken.
Don't think this was easy for me, Brian. If I hadn't had the Douglas Corporation's financial backing, we wouldn't be here now.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Whatever you want.
Who was this Dean Graphic?
Dean Grassick. You've never heard of him? But he's the greatest adventurer and treasure hunter in history. I hired
gonna
him
betray
to go
us,
down
is
to
he?
the ocean floor and retrieve the Trantonite.
Can we trust him?
Of course. He's a man of perfect moral integrity. For example, he is so generous he even held a contest among the country's youths, and the winner got to go with him on his next adventure. He is a man of his word, as you can see. He's traveling with Camille, the French girl who won the contest.
Who's Camille?
What part of the boat is he in now?
A while ago, he told me he'd be in the sea lock room, tuning up the diving equipment.
I've never heard of anyone named Dean Grassick.
You don't watch much TV, do you? His program, The Grassick Adventure, is one of the highest rated shows on primetime TV. I recommend it, because it's as if you were really there with him. Fighting against wild monkeys in the jungle, searching for treasures and ruins, and fighting against polar bears.
Polar bears,
Dean
you
takes
say?
the camera on all his adventures, and every evening he broadcasts images of the most amazing parts of that day's adventures. Plus, he's so cute.
I'd rather not talk about him anymore.
Don't be that way, Brian. You'll see how nice he is.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen there's a password-protected door.
And you want me to give you the password, right? Well, store this in your memory. 0512.
You just write that down.
0512.
2513.
No sweat. Anything else?
2202.
Let's continue this conversation later, okay?
Whenever you wish, Brian.
I'm really grateful to Sushi for all she's done, but we can't wait for 2 weeks. Alpha said their time is running out, so Gina's life depends on me acting fast. I don't know how, but I have to find a way to locate the sunken galleon in the Trantonite before it's too late.
Alright. Let's see here.
Well, look who's here. I'm gonna go say hello.
Boy, Rutger.
Rutger, long time no see.
Yo, Brian! Feeling better than yesterday?
This may
Yesterday.
seem weird to you, but I can't remember anything.
Of course! That's the nice part of Herbidos.
Actually, the last thing I remember is that I got to the port in San Diego with my friend Joshua and...
Slow down, man! Slow down! That little amnesia you have is caused by the berries I put in Herbidos.
Berries?
The only way to remember what happened is...
Oh, just my luck. Raw salmon again.
Salmon? You are one crazy man. No, the only thing I can do is refresh your memory.
Ugh, I was afraid of something like this.
More cutscenes.
Yesterday evening, I left the yacht to wander at the view and fill my lungs with clean ocean air.
Got the Rector DLC. Can't wait for the DMCA for this. This is the Runaway 2 theme. Run away and do it on your own. Why is this slow pan across the city? Where are they going? Like, we need the music to sync up. Just pan around the city a whole bunch.
I'm hungry. Are we
Calm
there yet?
down. Sushi shop must be nearby.
Oh no! A Trumpeteerus fatocranium, the most perverse species in the universe! Run, Brian, or it will devour you with its brain-sucking head!
Rutger,
Hey, Brian,
my friend, it's been so long.
is that broad doing okay?
Hey, don't worry about Joshua. Where's Sushi?
She said to take off upon your arrival, and that she's gonna catch up later by helicopter.
Oh,
Ah.
we arranged to meet up in Palenque when we were IMing. And yesterday she sent me a message at the Anchorage airport saying she's waiting here in San Diego. You wouldn't happen to know why?
No, come on, I'll finish the bong and we get down to navigating. You gonna help me finish it off?
Go back to your two-bit constellation, you coward, fat-headed beast!
Thanks, Rutger. But I haven't slept for days and I can hardly keep my eyes open.
No problem, man. Just lie down in the stateroom and you're gonna come out fresh as an herb.
Impossible. I can't sleep in trains, planes, or automobiles, so forget about boat naps.
That's cause you never try my herby dose.
Don't trust that nut, Brian! It's probably some sort of perverse potion!
Is a recipe based on herbs, mushrooms, wild berries, seeds, everything natural. Good stuff. It's refined to fight the insomnia. And you'll have some amazing dreams, better than with your wascal.
I don't know, Rutger. Your recipes have always seemed a bit potent to me.
Of course, that's why they're so cool. Let's dine. You have some herby dose, and hey man, you're gonna sleep better than a zombie.
Now I
That's how it
remember.
happened.
And I refused to take the Herbidose.
Yeah, but didn't you find the orange juice a little strong? Besides, now you're in an amazing mood, no?
Well, I don't agree with what you've done, but I guess you're right on that one.
I haven't felt such inner peace for a long time.
But explain one thing to me.
What?
Ah.
That's the telepathic helmet you've got there, isn't it?
Telepathic? Well, it's the one that you gave to that bird-brained Saturn a while back, man. But I want it fair and square, and it's mine now. I brought it to the boat, cause it really freaks me out. But for the last 3 days, it don't work. Typical overvalued Babylon machine. By the way, Joshua came here before, man, and told me he had a similar device. But that his was much awesomer and less pathetic.
Actually, Joshua built it to communicate with the Trantorians. When he managed to get abducted, I kept it.
Oh yeah, and that whole thing about the Martians and the stone they lost. I know how difficult it is. Cause I lost one the other day, and I felt that evil feeling at the tip of me dreadlocks.
Uh-huh.
The important thing here is not the helmet, it's...
It's what?
We'll talk later, Rutger.
Sure, man.
Alright. Back to picking up stuff.
Pots, hose, insecticide, hoe. Darn, nothing I need.
Take the sand, man.
What?
The sand in those sacks is so finely fine. I'm in awe.
Please take one.
Thanks, but I don't think I need any sand.
You must be pulling my weed, man. Such fine sand. Please take the sand or I will lose my temper.
Okay already, I'll take a sack. Great, now I have this thing to lug around all day.
What else is in our pockets? Oh, that's it.
It's a sort of water pipe that allows you to inhale the fumes of the, well, I mean the aromatherapy things that Rucker uses.
Uh-huh.
It's huge. Maybe I can use it for something. It's a hog bristle broom. Very durable.
Shoutouts to corn brooms. If you own a broom and it's not a corn broom, I don't know what you're doing with your brooming life. But it's wrong.
Yeah, let's see what's in there. Look who's here! Saturn!
Boy Saturn.
Well, look, it's Sleeping Beauty. Did you dream about anything interesting, BB?
Well, no, I didn't. I don't remember what I dreamt.
Oh, poor thing. Are you aware that Friedrich Kekulé discovered the hexagonal structure of the benzene molecule thanks to a dream?
Well,
what?
No, but...
And that Robert Louis Stevenson came up with Jekyll and Hyde while he was asleep?
That's very interesting, but...
There are no ifs, ands, or buts. So listen, stop contradicting me and tell me about you.
What?
Hey, about that helmet I gave you.
Yeah, I know you gave it to me, but now it belongs to that Jamaican joyrider.
Oh no, Cube's broke.
Did you know the helmet stopped working?
Yeah, Sushi told me about 3 days ago. In the beginning, I thought it was just that idiot's fault. But Joshua explained that it's actually a telepathic helmet that can be used to communicate with Trantorian beings. But since their stone was robbed, the line has been cut off.
Oh.
Why does Rucker have the helmet?
Because he's a perfect idiot, that's why. Anyway, I've designed a better one. The hairdo helmet. It'll be the first helmet that doesn't mess up your hair. Just the opposite, because it'll come with an advanced internal hairstyling system. It'll wash your hair, cut it, do perms. You know, I'm even thinking of adding some arms that'll do manicures. Rutger will turn green with envy.
Let's forget the helmet for a moment.
Yeah, BB, let's talk about something less unpleasant.
Well, about the Trantonite we're looking for.
Your friend Joshua told me about it. I'd love to get a glimpse of that stuff.
He says my friend Joshua. Didn't they all live in the same, like, colony or whatever you want to call it? First game?
If the planet is called Trantor, shouldn't it be called Trantorite instead of Trantonite?
You really get bored, don't you?
Huh. Joshua still hasn't explained anything to me about the Trantonite.
He hasn't? Well, he says it gives off as many neutrinos as the sun, or even more. I don't know if you know, but neutrinos are particles with hardly any mass that can pass through any solid body without changing direction.
Oh, yeah, of course. I studied physics at the university. I remember that they're created through beta disintegration, and wow, it's too bad they can only be seen using a neutrino detector, because otherwise... Are you thinking the same thing I am?
Do you also think the Mega Fan Mixer will work better if I add saws to the mincing blades?
No, Saturn. If we could build a neutrino detector, we could figure out where the Trantonite is, couldn't we?
Awesome! I hadn't thought of that. Just yesterday, I was reading an article about neutrino detectors in this month's Do-It-Yourself Science Illustrated. You have to fill a glass tank with fresh water, put photomultipliers in place, and... Wait, I better look it up. Improvements in ultra energy neutrino detectors on pages 31 through 34. Let's see, 28, 29, 30. Dang! The ones where the article should be. I bet that French girl did this.
Huh?
You know, man, the one who came here with Dean Grassick. The poor girl was so bored, I lent her my magazine. She seems so nice. And then she goes and steals just the article we need.
Don't worry, I'll try to get it back.
Let's hope. And try to solve that fresh water problem as well. As for the photo multipliers, that's a piece of cake. We'll use the telepathic helmet sensors. Joshua told me they increase the neutrino's mass and turn it into photons, so it has to work. The only problem is that fool Rutger has the helmet, and I don't know if he's going to want to give it to you. As long as you're going, tell him he's got so much nerve it won't fit in his hat.
It's going to be really great when you see the answer.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we have time to analyze the stone.
Well, it's a shame, because I think it would be wicked as part of my two-mouth bottle.
Getting back to our original topic, what's that you're working on there?
Oh, I knew the mini-sub would draw your interest. You don't see a work of techno art like this one every day. And it was a huge success at the last Burning Man Festival, the most advanced art event in the US of A.
Ah.
What exactly is the mini-sub?
It's a state-of-the-art mutant vehicle, especially indicated for use in underwater explorations. You see, when Dean Grassick goes down to the Orion, it will light up his field of vision. And at the same time, it'll send the images to the command post in the yacht so that we can take action in the event of danger.
Camera.
Very interesting. But let's discuss more important affairs.
Whatever you say, BB.
I'm gonna see what else I can do around here, Saturn.
Okay, BB. See you later.
Alrighty, Saturn.
Hey, wait. Since there's a glass tank in the cargo hold, we can build the neutrino detector in there. Right now, it contains salt water, so you'll have to empty it out and prepare everything so we can refill it with fresh water. You won't have any trouble, because all the water that comes out of the yacht's faucets is fresh. But I told you, as soon as you finish with the tank, get the telepathic helmet back and retrieve that article on the neutrino detector. Come tell me, and I'll get to work.
Doodles are very intimidating. But I bet you'll never forget it. You'll always remember.
I believe Sushi said the password is 0512. Let's try.
Hey, that's the password into my house. Apartment? Going with apartment.
Hello?
Bonjour, Brian. How do you feel?
Have we met before?
But of course, at dinner yesterday. You were a bit, how do you say, dizzy?
Well, actually, I don't remember much of what happened yesterday. I don't even remember your name.
Don't worry, it
Crashing
sometimes
the Loco.
happens. My name is Camille.
Nice to meet you, Camille. It's a pleasure to meet you again.
The same to you, Brian.
I'm ready, Hostov. You come here, baby.
On my way.
Hurry up, Chiquita. I need my siesta soon.
I see.
Camera rolling.
I am Dean Grassick, and let me say bienvenidos to the Grassick Adventure with Dean Grassick, your favorite show. Broadcasting from Miami to the world, baby. You know why? Because I, Dean Grassick, promise tons of real adventure with money-back guarantee. You know why, amigo? Because I live tons of real adventures every day. You know why, amigo? Because I, Dean Grassick, am the greatest adventurer on the planet. The only one who can do the amazing stuff. You know why, amigo? Because I saw the most amazing.
You know why, amigo?
Oh my God. Watch your hands, Chiquita.
You're the one who messed up. You keep forgetting the script.
Watch your mouth with me, baby. Don't worry. Be happy, mija. I'm sure you'll do better this time.
Wow, Camille. I didn't know that.
Hey, muchacho, don't bother my Chiquita. She's working.
You're Dean, right?
You guessed right. It's me, the one and only Dean Gressick. But don't be embarrassed to speak to me. Just treat me like an everyday guy. I'm your brother.
Sure, Dean. I'm Brian.
The teenager who has put me into the Orion's path?
Yeah, well...
You're hot stuff, amigo. Despite your lack of experience, you have really helped me out. But your contribution is done with, brother. I'm going to the bottom of the seas to get back the amazing rock. Cause I'm the greatest adventurer you'll ever know. Dean Gressick. The answer to all your troubles.
Thanks, but I'd like to finish this on my own.
You are chilling, my brother. Courage is a great sign of the rookie adventurer. But you shouldn't try to hop on a running bus. Just hold on un momento, cause I'm gonna do you a big favor. All day today, I will answer your questions for free. Placing
nice,
all
free.
the wisdom of the Gressick Adventure method within your reach. Take advantage of this ultra cool offer and pose your questions, my friend.
What is the Gressick Adventure method?
What rock did you climb out from under, kid? It is the amazing learning system for adventurers and treasure hunters. Patented by Dean Gressick. Its pages contain more than 12 years of experience, excitement, and triumph. Now it can be yours for the low price of just $39.99.
You said it was free.
Amigo, apply now and you will get an original 8x10 Dean Gressick glossy print. Autographed by Dean Gressick himself.
Ah.
Seriously, I want to be the one to go to the sunken galleon.
Keep it cool, my brother. Do you think I'd dive to the Orion if I weren't the best? Keep your blinkers on me, amigo. And after a while, you may be ready to become a real adventurer.
No, it's Dean with a bunch of E's. Not A's.
Keep recording. I'm out of here.
Yeah, let's quit the talk, or I have to work overtime.
Alright.
Dean Gressick.
Parents are messed up to put that many E's
Dazzling
in his name.
enigmas.
Alright, where am I going?
The most dazzling enigmas. Aye, come on, Dionisio. You can do this. Aye,
How's it going,
come
Camille?
on, Dionisio. You can do this. Hey, muchacho, don't bother my Chiquita. She's working. You got a question? You ask me, amigo, okay?
Don't you think you're being a little unfair to Camille?
Camille? What Camille?
It is moi, Camille.
Close it, mamacita. I'm talking to me, amigo.
Keep recording. I'm out of here.
There's no problem for me, brother.
I want to talk to Camille.
Dean Gressick. It's your favorite.
Do an axe.
It's much newer than the one I used in Alaska. There's a long hose inside for use in the event of a fire. However, I think it'll be a real nice thing to have for filling the sea lock tank with fresh water. It looks like you need a key to open it. Since Saturn claims the water in the boat's taps is fresh, I can use it to fill the sea lock tank. I have a feeling this won't be easy, but I must. I can't. The boat is full of them. They must have been on sale. Yeah, let's see where this heads to.
Beep boop boop bop beep.
It looks like I'm in the cargo hold. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Those holes in the ceiling look like the hatches in the deck that they load the cargo through. Saturn said to empty it out because it's full of salt water, and we need fresh water. I'd guess it's used to empty the tank. I think I should go down first if I want to do that. Yeah, that seems like the most logical way to empty the tank. Let's try it.
Absolutely nothing bad will happen if we do this.
Huh. This seems to be connected to a suction pump. Because otherwise I can't explain how it went so fast.
Ah.
It apparently leads to cargo hold 2.
I love adventure games. It's like if you're standing like right here, like if you click like right here, like you can't even really see that there's a button over there.
Well, open sesame. Whoa, it almost chopped my foot off. It must be broken because it doesn't seem normal for it to close just because you release the button.
Foreground.
Great idea. Presto! Plus, it looks like the broom will hold steady. That was a major pain. However, I better get some excellent payback inside.
Better get trapped inside.
Oh man, this must be my lucky day. I knew good fortune would smile upon me sooner or later. This was truly a challenge, but the reward is beyond comparison. A bag of plastic ties.
Oh,
and there's
man.
beautiful white ones too. My favorite. Well, I'll check to see if there's anything else around here.
White ones are like 6 feet long.
Nope, nothing of interest to me. Let's look on the other side. No, nothing there either. However, as far as I can tell, this cargo hold is symmetrical to the other one, with the hatch and everything.
Hey, it's Neil. Beep boop boop bop beep. I had to remember that for later. Not actually. I don't remember the last time we saved. It was probably like 2 minutes ago.
Here we go.
Hello, Sushi.
Listen, Sushi.
Yes, Brian?
I'd like to hear about your trips to Palenque.
You wouldn't happen to have the key to the glass emergency cases, would you?
What is the deal with you guys in these glass cases today? Joshua came to ask about the same thing just a while ago.
Oh, no.
Lucky thing I have another copy. Otherwise...
What is Joshua up to?
Thanks, Sushi. One other thing. Let's continue this conversation later, okay?
Whenever you wish, Brian.
Beep bop boop bop beep. What the?
I'm sure there was a hose in there before. I don't see the reason for doing that.
Somebody took the
If I'm not mistaken, there used
axe
to be
and
an
the hose.
axe in there. It's spooky to think someone might be roaming around the yacht with the axe that used to be in there.
Oh,
Man,
no.
I need to stop watching all those horror movies.
Bye, Camille.
Yeah, I'll go see what Dean has to say.
No, Brion, please. Dean is concentrating. And if he sees you, he will scream at me for letting you in.
Okay, don't worry.
I'm ready, Hostov. You
How
come
are you,
here, baby.
Camille?
Très bien, as you can see.
Bye, Camille.
Anyway, see you around, Camille.
I'm ready, Hostov. You come here, baby. Hit it, you pretty woman. I'm dying for my lunch.
Sure thing, video game. Let's see, what do we got going on over here?
Sure, I'll take one. These things always come in handy, even if it's just to use as part of a practical joke.
Watch your hand, Chiquita.
Well, I already have one, but two could be nice. Cool. I have two identical tubes to play with today.
Anyway, I'm going to concentrate. And we'll start over.
I'm not really in favor of wasting these excellent plastic ties, but if I must...
What are we doing with these?
Well, that's done.
Ah, I see.
Yes! I'll take as many as I need to build an amazing makeshift hose.
Nice.
Dazzling enigmas. The most dazzling enigmas. Dionisio, you are the best. The hottest. Aye, come on, Dionisio. You can do this.
Yes, Camille. She's gone. She's not teleporting around either.
That won't do any good. It's empty, and therefore useless. I don't see the reason for doing that. Yeah, knowing the water that comes out is fresh, it'd be a good way to fill the tank in the cargo hold. And I'm sure the hose is long enough. But wouldn't it be better to wait until you have everything you need to build the neutrino detector? So the hose robber won't see it and steal it too?
Oh, you know what? You're right, Brian.
It leads to...
Who's never right? What the?
Yeah, I'll take a peek.
Hmm. Camille.
How are you, Camille?
Très bien, as you can see.
You're lying.
Where are you from?
From France. Don't I have an accent?
Ah.
Oh, and you have excellent wines there, don't you?
Mais oui, precisely. I brought 2 bottles as a gift for Dean. but he says he is on the wagon or something. He refused them. Too bad. Because what do I do with them now?
Get drunk? What's your name? Camille?
Well, I have a friend who would go wild over those 2 bottles.
Ah, you know about wine?
No. Little Demon is more into drinking it. The one who really knows his wine is my Uncle Albert.
Ah, oui?
He always says, water is for bathing and some dirty folks drink it.
Ha! I don't think I want to meet this uncle.
The last time he drank any water was in October of 1947, when he got drunk and sang too long in his shower.
And he's American?
Well, actually, he's my great uncle by marriage from Schenectady. He has an 89-year-old ulcer collection.
Well, you are lucky you do not take after him.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Anyway, I'll tell you about Uncle Albert some other day.
I need the wine then.
I only know about France from the movies. Paris, the Can-Can, Les Mis.
Alors, you know the France of last century through the American movies? Maybe you should travel there to see what France is like today in person.
You should do that in a completely different video game.
I'd love to keep talking about France, but
We haven't gotten that question in forever. The Rinzu Koken question.
you wouldn't happen to know where Saturn's magazine is?
Mon Dieu, how embarrassing. Tell Saturn I will return the missing pages, but right now I cannot.
But what happened?
Well, I sat here to read, and Dean asked me for the paper to wrap his lunch. I was so absorbed with reading, though, I hardly heard him. A bit later, he appeared, a little bothered because I don't pay attention to him, and he said, "Why don't you bring the paper to me if you have it right there, hotcakes?" or something like that. Then he ripped out some pages and returned to the sea-lock room. I meant to tell Saturn, but I had a bit the shame.
Don't worry. You'll see. Dean will return them to me lickety-split.
Sure will.
How is it you're working for Dean?
No, I do not work for him. I won a contest, and the prize was to experience his next adventure with him. You do not know how many people would pay to be in my place. I had very much the luck.
Oh yeah, I think Sushi mentioned that. I hate to say it, but I don't think Dean treats you with much respect.
No, it's just his character. Really, he is very attentive and, well, right now he has very much the stress and he is not normally like this.
What type of contest was it?
It was an international contest in all the countries where they show the Grazik adventure. The winner was the person who finds a golden coin in Dean's head. Merde, why did I buy that tablet of chocolate?
I see.
So why did you decide to take part in the contest?
I have always loved the adventure, and this was my chance to live one for real. Dean always says that adventure tests physical ability as a weapon against adversity.
That's what he says? Well, no. What adventure puts to the test is improvisation as a weapon against confusion. You spend time going from one place to another without knowing exactly what you're supposed to do. And you have to make things up as you go along in order to move forward, because if you let the confusion get the best of you, you'll just get stuck somewhere, and you'll miss out on the best part of the adventure.
Well, I never thought about it like that.
Me neither, actually. I was just improvising.
Nice.
Let's drop the topic of Dean, or I'm a wretch.
Okay, as you wish.
Anyway, see you around, Camille.
Let's get to work, honey. I'm starving.
Bye, Camille.
Hit it, you pretty woman. I'm dying for my lunch.
Camera rolling.
I am Dean Grassic, and let
Dean Grassic.
to the Grassic Adventure with Dean Grassic, your favorite Joe, broadcasting from Miami to the world, baby. You know why? Because I, Dean Grassic, promise tons of real adventure with money-back guarantee. Why, amigo? Because I saw the most amazing. Oh my God. You sure you started up that recorder, Chiquita?
Yes, but of course.
Listen, baby. You just do your work. It's okay, mamacita. I'll take a break and we'll start. The most dazzling enigmas. Dean Gracie.
Hi.
Protomateria? No way. It's the name of her research thesis.
Grassic. Amigo, what's flying?
Planet's pulse.
I need the paper you wrapped your lunch in. Can I borrow it?
Do I look like some kind of boob to you, amigo? I lived in the street too long to let some thief stick his finger in my frijoles.
What?
What if I trade you your lunch for something more succulent?
I get the idea that you don't got no idea what you're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Something more succulent than a hardened bar of genetically engineered, potassium-enriched beans?
Beans, you say?
Because this is the best snack in Miami.
Well, when you're done, you'll give me the paper, right?
Okay, kid. After I have lunch, the paper is yours. And if you behave and keep quiet, I'll sign it for you.
Oh.
Well, you look like you're starving, brother.
No deal, amigo. My lunch is mine alone, and I'll eat it when I want.
Oh, man. Just forget it.
Good going, kid. You gotta know when to fold. That'll save you some big troubles.
Well, let's just drop it for now.
You finally got some common sense, kid.
May I ask what sort of adventures you've been on?
Answer these questions, my friend. Who cut down the last living example of the Havana Poppy, who played water polo in Rio Piranhas, winning a total of 7 matches against himself? What adventure always has the hot stuff.
Dean Grassic?
You're right, brother. Dean Grassic.
Don't you believe it. Brian Basco ain't bad either. Okay, I'll let you have the grand prize. Dean Grassic is the greatest.
You said it, kid. Come on. Ask whatever you want, and I'll answer.
You haven't seen my friend Joshua around, have you?
I get the feeling you're talking about your friend with the glasses, no? He was here right now, but he stirred up a mess, moving everything around and screwing up my scene. That guy is one loco yokel.
Keep recording. I'm out of here.
There's no problem for me, brother.
No way, man. This loco says he won't give me the article until he finishes recording the scene. And of course, he must be used to having a teleprompter on stage, feeding him the text, so his memory's no good anymore. If things don't change around here, I won't get the article for days.
Dean Grassic.
Dionisio, you are the best, the hottest. Dean Gracie. Okay. I got it.
Beep bop boop bop beep.
How are you, Camille?
Très bien, as you can see.
What are these? Water?
What are those bottles doing there?
Oh, they are for you. I thought you'd know how to appreciate them, n'est-ce pas?
She sounded so...
What do you mean?
Wow, I'm speechless. Thanks a lot, Camille. Merci.
What?
Gee, they're lovely.
Yes, they were a gift from a friend from Bordeaux. It's a limited edition, 100 units. The bottle, it has the shape of a Greek amphora, and because Dean's real name is Dionysus, and Dionysus was the Greek god of wine, I thought he likes them. But I prefer you have them.
Don't worry, I'll save them for a special occasion.
Where'd you go, mamita? You don't work?
I haven't played SMT. Eight room. Just say our jugs were lovely, yes. Is the stateroom? 8 room.
No, I'll rest once we find the tran tonight. Chateau de... Yes, a wine like this should always be properly stored in a cool, dry location. In proper storage, they're less likely to break or spoil. Yeah, this cabinet looks like it has all the features needed to preserve the wine's aroma and taste. Just out of curiosity, though. Smells amazing. Wonder if it tastes amazing, too.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Where am I? A boat?
Uh-oh.
Man, I ache all over. And that light. Just a sec. Hold on. Give me a minute here.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. I escaped with Joshua on Simon's snowmobile. We got as far as Sicily. Camille's wine. I really don't know what could have happened. My head is pounding and there isn't a drop left.
It was
in those
off screen,
wine
Dean
jugs.
Smalls.
Maybe I was mugged. Anyway, I'd better look on the bright side. These empty wine jugs will surely come in handy. Yeah, I know it's not that comforting, but I need some encouragement here.
Okay, that item may come in handy.
Where's the Joshua DLC? Hello? Ryan. Hey, you get something from the bar? Oh, this.
I guess Saturn uses it to jot down his ideas and designs. Yep, I'd better tell Saturn. Can I borrow your sketch pad, Saturn?
That pad is sacred, BB. It's full of my ideas and designs. So it constitutes my artistic and scientific logbook, and I couldn't risk losing it. My regrets, BB, but I can't lend it to you.
You're not even gonna lend me a sheet or two from the sketch pad, Saturn?
The truth is there's only one left, BB. Besides, I'd just give you the whole pad if it were empty. In fact, I have several new ones in my cabin, but it's a matter of principle. I never used a new sketch pad until I filled all the pages in the previous one.
Wow, me too.
We artists are like that.
Why I only have one
What
sketch
can I
pad.
do about it?
And you haven't had any ideas for filling the last page of this sketch pad?
Well, I'm not sure. I recently read that one of the biggest causes of obesity is that we eat too fast, and I don't know. I've been thinking of something to help people eat more slowly for days so they can chew their cud without choking. The bad thing is, I haven't come up with anything.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, if I think of anything, I'll tell you.
Here we are.
A portrayal of Neptune, the Roman sea god. It's made of bronze, so it must weigh more than my car. However, the trident has come loose. I'll nonchalantly slip it into my pocket. Well, not too nonchalantly, or I may inadvertently saw a branch off of the family tree.
Here we go. Combine sand with empty bottles.
I'm getting another one of my brilliant ideas. For what I've got in mind, I just have to fill one halfway. I'm not sure if this idea is ingenious or idiocy.
Hello, Godspike Arm, and welcome.
There we go. One family-sized hourglass.
I got this giant hourglass with an undetermined amount of time involved with how long it takes to go.
Yeah, through the awe-inspiring wonder of the plastic tie, my grandiose creation will be complete. The unique, unmatchable watch fork.
Uh-huh. What did we even make? Gonna take this watch fork and give it.
Yeah, maybe if I give a good sales pitch, he'll like it. Take a look at this.
Oh, it's to help people eat slower.
What is that thing?
It's an experimental primitive prototype of the watch fork, based on your ideas about people eating slower. The actual size wouldn't be so big, but I thought you'd appreciate the detail this way.
Watch fork?
Yeah. Look closely. You pick up the food with your fork and patiently wait for all the sand to drop from the top of the hourglass to the bottom. Afterward, you turn it over, lift the fork to your mouth, and chew patiently until the sand goes back to the other side. Then,
ah, man,
only
genius.
then do you pick up another morsel of food and repeat the process. So, what do you think? Saturn?
This is the most amazing invention I've ever laid my eyes on.
Genius.
Seriously?
Watch out, Da Vinci. I'm going to start work on this immediately. I'm heading to my room, where I can clarify the mathematical concepts behind the watch fork and draw some sketches for a while.
Perfect.
Hey, Saturn. That sketchpad you brought back is brand new, isn't it?
Yeah, I used the last page from that last pad on a couple preliminary designs for the watch fork.
So, can I have it?
You mean you want me to lend it to you? Well, I'm sorry, BB. I'm giving it to you.
Oh no.
Well, at least I finally got it. Now let's hope I can truly put it to good use.
All right. Everything we just did make perfect sense. All right.
Well, as long as I can choose, I guess I'll take a pretty marking pen. Saturn, can I borrow a marker?
Of course, BB. Keep it. It's immoral to refuse someone a pen.
I think I've used one of these in the past. What I can't remember is when.
Amazing in a very special way. You got that right.
No, I see no reason to do something so absurd.
Joshua's doing his own adventure gaming.
How are you, Camille?
Très bien, as you can see.
Thanks for the vino. It was delicious.
What do you mean? It was. You have already drunk the 2 bottles?
Well, it's quite possible, because I don't remember doing it.
Oh la la! Well, I'm happy you enjoyed them.
We could have shared them, Brian.
Anyway, see you around, Camille.
Where'd you go, mamita? You don't work? I got it, you have, babe. Let's record until the sun goes down.
Okay.
I am Dean Grassic, and let me say,
That's the ticket. I better wait for him to finish.
Dean Grassic, your favorite Joe, broadcasting from Miami to the world, baby. You know why? Because I, Dean Grassic, promise tons of real adventure with money-back guarantee. Why, amigo? Because I saw the most amazing. Oh my God! Can't you keep that camera still?
It does not move, Dean.
Listen, baby, you just do your work. It's okay, mamacita. I'll take a break and we'll start over. Dionisio, you are the best. The hottest. Aye.
Hey, Dean.
Come on, Dionisio.
I bet you could do with a
You
helpful
can do
teleprompter.
How'd you know, amigo? I have a primo memory. But if I had the words written down, I could concentrate better on my acting, you know?
Well, let's get to work then. I'm gonna prepare an analogical teleprompter for you to watch.
Recording.
I am Dean Grassic, and let me say bienvenidos to the Grassic Adventure with Dean Grassic, your favorite show, broadcasting from Miami to the world, baby. You know why? 'Cause I live tons of real adventures every day. You know why, amigo? Because I, Dean Grassic, I am the greatest adventurer in the world.
Camille?
The only one who can lick his own elbow and jump onto his heels. So now, you can just give your remote control the day off, because our adventure is about to begin. Here we go. Roll that video.
Cut.
What did I tell you, kids? Dean Grassic is the biggest of them all. And now, I'm gonna get my lunch, because I deserve it.
Ah, yes, lunch.
Here it is. A delicious hard tofu bar with genetically engineered, potassium-enriched beans.
Joe, lend me that paper now, Dean.
It's all yours, amigo.
I finally did it. I'll go take it to Saturn in case he wants to start watching it.
But you don't have the rest?
Well, I'm still missing a thing or two.
Don't worry. When it's all ready, you tell me. I look up the article, and we get down to work.
Just one thing, Saturn.
What's up with you, BB?
What did you tell me to tell Rutger?
That he's got so much nerve it won't fit inside his hat? Let's see what he answers to that.
I'm gonna see what else I can do around here, Saturn.
Okay, BB. See you later.
Oh, God. The guide for this section, you have to go back and forth. But it mentions, the guide mentions every single one of the sayings that they go, as you go back and forth talking to these two. So this whole section takes up like a fourth of the guide.
Just one thing, Rutger.
What?
I bet you don't know what Saturn just said to me.
Some stupid thing of his, I'm sure.
He says his hat's off to you, and not to pout.
Is he piping down or pulling me leg? Come on, let's test him. Tell him his techno art is so sadly sad, it no be good enough to hang above a toilet.
Okay, I'll go tell him right now. Shoot, now what am I supposed to tell Saturn? Just one thing, Saturn.
What's up with you, BB?
Rucker just said something lovely about you.
Oh, yeah? And what did that Rasta-covered fool tell you?
He says he's sad your techno art doesn't get more deserved airtime on TV.
Is that so? Well, he's probably just saying it to get something out of me. Screw him. Remind him of what I said the other day. That in order to like reggae, you have to be daffier than a duck and waddle like one too.
Trust me.
Daffy.
Let's see how I can tell Rucker that. Up we go.
No, Daffy Duck. And waddle like him too.
Just one thing, Rucker.
What?
I bet you don't know what Saturn just said to me.
Some stupid thing of his, I'm sure.
He says that when he listens to reggae, he gets so happy that he starts to flap his wings like duck.
Oh, I guess I'm supposed to feel sorry for saying only jerks with blue hair go to the Burning Man Festival. Well, you repeat that to him and see what color he turns.
Okay, I'll go tell him right now. Shoot, now what am I supposed to tell Saturn?
Bet you're wondering how long this goes on for. Me too.
Just one thing, Saturn.
What's up with you, BB?
Rucker just said something lovely about you.
Oh, yeah? And what did that Rasta-covered fool tell you?
He says he feels like a wacko for not having gone to the Burning Man Festival with you.
Now he realizes? Look, maybe in a few days I'll feel like a fool for saying this. But the Jamaican bobsled team won't win the Olympics, even if it secretly uses
the rhythm.
doping. Go tell him that.
Feel the rhythm.
The day you got mad,
Feel the rhyme.
Did you exchange any other words?
Well, I don't know. Why?
Nothing. It's just that he's starting to treat me like a punching bag. But don't you worry.
Get on up. It's bobsled time.
Up we go. Just one thing, Rucker.
What?
I bet you don't know what Saturn just said to me.
Some stupid thing of his, I'm sure.
He says the day Jamaica wins the bobsled medal, he'll buy you an Olympic-sized bong.
Saturn said that? No way! In the end, it will turn out he ain't the jerk I thought. But all he's a saying. You ain't making that up now, is ya?
Me? Make things
Wait,
up?
no way.
Lie? Oh, Wrecker, you just don't know me. Can't believe my ears.
Peace, man. I just think it's strange that Bird Brain, well, he ain't so bad, is he? You know, as brothers go, he's a good one. What am I saying? He's my best friend. Oh, man, I'm gonna give him a makeup gift that's gonna knock his dreads off.
The helmet?
No, but take it if you want. I meant something more personal. To help him with one of his inventions. Don't know, I'll think of something.
Thanks, Wrecker. Well, one more thing done. Well, I think I finally have everything Saturn needs to make the neutrino detector. I'll go
I
tell
wish,
him so we can
Claude.
get to work
I wish.
ASAP.
Come on, start dismantling the helmet while I figure out how this works.
Okay.
Let's see. Awesome! This is a piece of cake. Hey, BB, you sure that's the right tool?
Ready to roll, Saturn.
Cool! Come on, BB, bring it on!
Tell me when it's full. Will this take much longer?
Huh? Dude, it's starting to come out! Cut!
Well, I'll just clean up this mess and be on my way.
No, it's technically impossible for anything to go wrong, but you better stay back a bit.
Now I see why you chose me to talk through the intercom. Well, as they say, que sera, sera. Sushi, can you turn off the light? We're starting here.
Done. Good luck, boys.
Yeah, good luck to everyone. And to me, too. Look at them. There are the neutrinos. They're shooting up from down there to the left.
Sushi, fire the engines and set our course to north-northwest. Okay, turn starboard just a few degrees.
Look at that thing coming.
Stay the course, Sushi. We're headed in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. This is some high-pitched noise.
Drop anchor, Sushi. We're right on top of it.
Sorry, Brian.
Sorry?
I still can't figure out why he could back out at the last minute. That's the job I hired him for in the first place.
You see, I told you there was something fishy about Dean.
Well, fortunately, Camille has offered to go down and get the Trantonite.
No, tell her not to worry. I'll go.
I understand that your endgame is to do this personally, but after what you went through to build the neutrino detector, shouldn't you take some downtime?
Negative. The Trantonite is my mission.
Plus, there's a couple things we need to discuss. The first is that we are no longer right above the galleon, so you'll have to swim a bit. Not far, though. The second thing is that before beginning to search for the Trantonite, a 3D scanner should be placed as close as possible to the middle of the galleon, so that you can provide me with a 3-dimensional image I can use to guide whoever goes down. You yourself do not have to be the diver.
Come on, give me that contraption. I'll go down right now.
Okay, do as you wish. After all, everything is in place. Saturn has installed a shortwave receiver in the diving suit, so you have a comm unit during the underwater ops. And the mini-sub is ready, inside the Sea-Lock capsule. It took me a while to find it, because Rutger had taken it and...
Well, you'll see. Ballast, regulator, ready. Be careful down there, Brian.
Vamos, kid. Loco. I'll bet you do it almost as good as me.
Wow. Well, thanks for the encouragement, Dean.
De nada, brother.
Good luck, Brian.
Muchacho, amazing title you have come up with for this new Dean Grassic adventure. Blast to the past.
That's the title of the chapter. It was for the best, Regison. It made some high-pitched squealing noises. It sounded like some kind of harpy battle cry. Wow, fell exactly right on that rock. Amazing. For some reason, this just reminded me of Man-Me Dan. I still have to do my idiot playthrough of that game. Where everyone on the team is an idiot.
Those millions invested in the three-dimensional scanner were worth it.
What?
Well done, Brian.
For this one thing?
Hop in and we'll decide where to attack. Good work, Brian. Now I have a virtual image of the Orion, and I can view your position the entire time and indicate which bearing you need to take.
So, where do I have to go?
Well, if you look closely, you'll see that the Orion's figurehead looks like a scorpion, and right next to the stinger on its tail, there is a small sphere. According to Paco's indications in Palenque, that sphere would be illuminated during battles, and I wouldn't be surprised if...
I catch your drift. Come on, prepare me for the dive. I'm going back down.
Are you sure you don't want to rest first?
Where's the Shorks? Why would they be here? In the Pacific Ocean.
Lichens. Either we get rid of them and the moss, or we'll never get it open.
You know what you have to do, right?
Yeah, collect 45 items to get this sphere.
Clean it?
Clean it, Brian. Remove the moss and lichens to
That
see
brim.
where it opens. You aren't the kind of man who refuses to pick up a cleaning rag, are you?
No, but I thought there might be some other way to open it.
Whatever, but I think you'll end up having to clean it.
All right, Sushi. I'm gonna see what I can come up with.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so here's the deal. During all those cutscenes, I went through the rest of the guide to see what was left. Ow, hold on. And there's probably maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Somewhere between an hour and a half. Wait, somewhere between an hour and 2 hours. As he come back up, he goes through the thing at the bottom. In the ship. In the cargo hold. Anyways. So we'll finish this next week. For sure. Most definitely.